for the chance to make a new start. Such people generally started towns where there was water, and there was a spring at the site that later became Nazareth. Mary would have grown up fetching water from that spring, and in fact that same spring still flows today. As the town was built up over the centuries, it rose above that spring, so that in order to see it today, visitors must descend below ground level inside the Greek Orthodox Church of the Annunciation near downtown Nazareth. I can't help but think that Jesus, who spent 30 years of his life in Nazareth, drew on the memory of that spring when he spoke to his disciples about living water. And again when he spoke to the woman at a well in John chapter 4. He said these words, "If you knew who you were talking to, you would ask of me and I would give you living water, and you would never thirst again." Jesus knew, as did the people who founded his hometown at the site of that spring, that water meant life. The name of this tiny village of Nazareth tells us something about the people living there, and it offers us a clue to the identity of the child Mary would bear. Nazareth may have come from the Hebrew word netzer, and this word means branch or shoot. Sometimes when a tree is chopped down, a branch will come out of that tree and it'll form, and this is called the netzer. And as you understand this about Nazareth, when you see this, it's called Netzer because they believed that something was great that was going to come from this town. There was always anticipation in Nazareth. Much of the Old Testament was written predicting or in response to the destruction of Israel. The northern half of the country was destroyed by the Assyrian Empire in 722 BC. The southern half of the country, known as Judah, was destroyed by the Babylonian Empire in 587 BC. The prophets, in speaking about the destruction and the reemergence of Israel, used the metaphor of Israel being like that a tree that had been cut down, but which would one day sprout up again. Israel would be led by a messianic figure called the branch.